come up and let us know if you thought Robin was male or female.
I thought we were living in a post-gender world. I didn't think that. Kia ora, everybody. I would like to acknowledge the Coast Salish people, the Musqueam, the Tsleil-Waututh and the Squamish that we are lucky to live, work and play on. I am from the Taranaki iwi of New Zealand, and I'm also English, Irish, Scottish, settler nations, and a Canadian citizen. And I'd like to thank Sabrina for the beautiful book, and Bonnie and everyone for coming out. The pictures are right behind you, right there. And I realize that not everyone knows who William Carlos Williams is, so I was also informed by William Carlos Williams in this. So I thought I'd read the very short things that these were based on. The red wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. This is just to say I've eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. So I was very interested in doctors that actually are writers and artists. So this is my combination of William Carlos Williams, Dr. Chekhov and Robin Atlas all together. It's called Doctor and Patient Privilege, a disruption for Robin Atlas's Genesis, chapter 4:10. So much depends upon the white picket fence covered in your blood, my brother. Dr. William Carlos Williams depends on his prescription pad to write his poems in between patients, pus and swabs. He jots notes about the plums in the fridge that he ate that she was saving. No one talks about his golf score since the DIVORCE. And it all depends on your point of view whether Dr. Watts was wasting my time by getting out his guitar and singing me songs when he found out I was in showbiz. And I wanted my opinion on his song, Extinction Blues. He invited me to the Temple Bar and Grill open mic night as his song snuck out under his surgery door to the waiting room of inpatients, all thinking WTF in Tongan, Samoan and Fijian, you name it, pick a Pacific island. All I wanted was some drugs and a diagnosis. He gave me so much more. I'm sure he had a concept album somewhere. Later, many years later, I heard the stats say that if your health professional talks to you up front about something other than your ailment, your injury, then you have a much better chance of complete recovery. It's the holistic approach. Flaky, pastry, cover your ears, kids, shit. Healing all of me. I never went to the temple. I wasn't sure if it was ethical. Ethics, isn't that somewhere near Sussex? Dr. Watts left his C90 mixtape in my mailbox. I bet you anything you like that Dr. William Carlos Williams and Dr. Anton Chekhov never made that sort of house call. And sure, they're great writers, but aren't you worried that while you had blotchy skin in the game, their heads and hearts were elsewhere? And they mixed up the pen and the scalpel and left a sponge or a clamp inside you when they closed you up with piggledy sutures. Would that explain the nagging itch, the dull ache? Also, I chopped the head off the white rooster so the wheelbarrow is redder and there's leftover soup. So this one you need to know a little bit about Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. and Kim Novak. This is called Frank Sinatra Has a Cold, a disruption for Robin Atlas's Chez Samich dialect. This flower in the desert, Sammy, is the last thing you will ever see unless you stop seeing Kim Novak, said the mobster backlit by the Vegas glow. It's nothing personal. It's just she's some big shot in Hollywood who owns Kim, wants you out of the picture. She's great in Vertigo, by the way, though I prefer Psycho. And yeah, I confess I got a bit dizzy myself in that Vertigo flick, but she's great eye candy. Anyways, this big shot, he wants us to burn a cigar into your good eye and break both your dancing legs and twinkle toes because Kim, She shouldn't be putting it out with no black Jew. The big shot has to protect his assets, see? You know, he's put more people in the cemetery than there are stars on the Hollywood Walk. So if you could just marry some black chick real soon, I think that'd take the heat right off and you'd be right back in with the Rat Pack. With Frank and Dean, I Spill More Than You Drink, Martin, Joey Bishop and Peter Lawford, and hell, I love you guys. You put on a great show. I'd hate to break up the band. You get my drift? Who can take a rainbow, wrap it in a sigh, soak it in the sun, and make a groovy lemon pie? The Candyman. According to Vanity Fair, Sammy got out his little black book, found a black singer he sort of knew, and proposed ASAP. He was drunk at the wedding. It was never consummated and never turned out to be the career move his bride had hoped for. His sham marriage over, Sammy went back to seeing Kim on the sly, but it wasn't the same. She became that flower in the desert, the one he'd been forced to stare at, kneeling in the sand with a gun to his head. The flower he could never forget and never find again. That loving kindness. The Candyman can. The Candyman can because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Thank you.